They all hate us, people. They hate us. Turkish was saying on Forever Arsenal. I can't remember if it was the last one or a few before. He said we're the most hated club in the Premier League, or just the most hated club in general. And now we're hearing that Premier League clubs have complained to the PGMOL about Arsenal's use of the dark arts. And what, in a bid to stop it, in a bid to get clubs or referees, should I say, to be more aware of it, to ensure it doesn't go on? I mean, I don't know. And you know what's so funny is that I can actually speak about this from the perspective of a fan who came in around 2007 was when I really started to kind of support Arsenal, follow on a regular basis. And then 2010 is when I started to really kind of understand a bit more kind of where we were in the food chain and how we were viewed by other clubs and how we were viewed by the media and pundits and fans. And people would, talk about the great days of the Invincibles and the 2002, the 98 team, the team that won all these FA Cups, Arsene Wenger's great back four, Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, and this team that was steely and strong and difficult to beat. And almost everyone would reference that Arsenal side, whether you're an Arsenal fan or a pundit or someone who was trying to criticise Arsenal, they'd reference the good old days and that team that had something about them that was steely and sturdy and strong, both mentally and physically. And now that Arsenal are going back to something more like that, now that Arsenal aren't complete pushovers, now that Arsenal aren't as naive in games as they were, perhaps in the 10 years prior to this current Arsenal side, people don't like it and they're being awfully critical about it. I mean, what clubs are complaining about to the PGMOL for, or the Premier League or whatever it is, what they're complaining about, I can't possibly understand. I mean, okay, what dark? Okay, let's talk dark arts, right? What are Arsenal doing? I mean, blocking goalkeepers at corners. As far as I'm aware, that's not a foul. You are allowed to stand in the way and be able to manipulate the movement of other defenders. I mean, in football, you are allowed to use your body to stop other people being where you want to be. That's never been a problem when clubs did it brilliantly against us, but it's a problem that we're doing it brilliantly against others. Time wasting. Well, we've already have Opta come out and say that the ball was in play in that second half against Man City more than it had been, I think, in any other half of Premier League football or something like that. And that game had the ball in play, the third or fourth or something. Like it ranked as one of the games for the most time the ball had been in play. But what? Because Raya went down, sort of holding the ball and trying to let his team recover some energy. What, we're meant to give the ball straight back to Man City? I mean, what do people want Arsenal to do? I mean, I don't get it. People saying Arsenal feigning injuries. Like, well, Calafiori went down, Martinelli went down, and Timber went down. And guess what? They all went off. They were all substituted. Do you think we wanted to bring on a 17-year-old for his debut? Do you think we wanted to make 3-4 changes mid-game to the back four to try and see out a game against Man City? No. And you could see in Arsenal's actions, that wasn't just gamesmanship. That was Arsenal having to respond to a really difficult situation. So is that the dark arts that people are talking about? I don't really know where people are going with this. What are Arsenal doing that either other clubs haven't done or that we're doing to a really extreme level that needs sort of this level of conversation? I used to watch Arsenal get kicked about all the time. And actually, when we brought up Bukayo Saka getting relentlessly fouled, what was it, 2-3 seasons ago, I think Steven Gerrard was one of them, and what did managers and pundits say? Well, it's just part of the game. It's part of the game. Where I've got whatever in my ankle, that I have from my career, and it's just what it is. And that's the game. And Bukayo Saka is a winger. He's a good winger that people are going to target. You have to get used to it. People just told us to get on with it. That was only 2-3 years ago. And over the years, I've seen Arsenal players get kicked all about because, what do we get called? We get called soft. We get called pushovers. But now Arsenal are in a position to actually front some of that up and actually face up to it. People don't like it. And it's not just clubs that are complaining about it. I'd love to know what their particular complaints are. It's actually the way people are talking about Arsenal, almost like they're doing something wrong for playing the kind of football we're playing, and that we're, like I said, City fans complaining about, the ball, constant stoppages in play and whatever. Well, that's answered by the added time. City got 7 minutes of added time and scored in the 99th, 98th minute. So you got your reward, is the word, I don't know, but whatever time waste you felt happened, that was added on, and that's when Man City scored. So it kind of all worked out. If you get what I'm saying. But also, like I said, we've just had it proven from up that the ball's been in play plenty in that game. So I don't really know where the criticism is on that front. I feel like it goes back to Turkish's message that sort of Arsenal are sort of the most hated club in the Premier League. And I mean, look, how do you quantify that, right? I don't know. I think across social media or media in general, it's easy to kind of feel like everyone's against you. And I'm sure other clubs have felt this way before. But I definitely think that Arsenal need to hone this in now and almost siege mentality, a little bit like the way City have been able to do that so well in recent years when they have been through a bit of a blip in form and go, right, that's it. Let's kind of show everyone we're about. I want Arsenal and Arteta to just gather and just go, look, two red cards in the history of Premier League football for kicking the ball away. As far as I'm aware, there might be others. Let me know in the comment section below. But in recent times, I can't think of anything like it where a second yellow card for kicking the ball away has resulted in a red card, and there's just that yellow card's just been brandished in general. You know, and people might think, you know, you lot are being pathetic, right? You think the world's against you, and it's not. But I think Arteta and Arsenal should channel that into the players, not as a victim mentality and a kind of pathetic, like, oh no, you know, feel sorry for us, everyone's against us. But in a, we're going to have to do it ourselves. We're going to have to fight for every inch to get this Premier League title because we need to take control of everything we possibly can. And I think Arteta's doing that well. I think the Arsenal players should embody and embrace that a little bit of it because I just think some of the conversation that's come out post, you know, whether it be Bernardo Silva's complaining, Akanji's complaining, whether it be, you know, again, some of the punditry, whatever it might be, I don't think Arsenal are getting a fair critique of what they're doing, if I'm being really honest. So use it to your advantage, is my opinion. The dark arts conversation is so funny, though. You know, what I'm trying to, I mean, what dark arts? I mean, you know, some people have mentioned, well, don't get upset about Haaland throwing the ball at the back of Gabriel's head because Ben White booted it at John McGinn. He did it because John McGinn booted it at Saliba. Like, we just like to forget things. Like, you know, like we just like to just forget the context of things sometimes. Are Arsenal a dirty team? I don't think so. When was the last time you saw a really bad tackle by an Arsenal player? Being deadly serious, when was the last time you saw a really bad tackle by an Arsenal player where you've gone, that's foul play, that's a red card? I'm going back a few years, maybe at best. You know, my recent red cards I can remember were Tomiyasu for time wasting at first, and then a second yellow for not touching Jordan Ayew, and then these last two were for kicking the ball away. When was the last time Arsenal were a side or a club who were dirty in that way, were nasty to play against? I mean, we are physical, we put our bodies about, but I don't see us doing it illegally in any way. You know, these are the questions I want to ask. And when, you know, there's elbows in Jorginho's head, no one wants to say anything about it. I think there are other clubs that are far more crossing the line physically in the Premier League than Arsenal. And in terms of the dark arts, I mean, when we talk about the dark arts, the meaning is bending the rules or manipulating the rules in your favour. So I think, I tell you what, a clever one, we talked about Forever Arsenal, and the clever use of the dark arts is the Arsenal physio sprinting onto the pitch against Man City. You know, that, okay, but is that harming anyone? Like, it's clever, it's in the moment, it's a one-off. The referee should have stopped because there was an injury. Raya didn't kick the ball out of play well enough, but I think, you know, everyone could see that he was trying to kick the ball out of play, but in fairness, he did lump it to their right-back spot, Man City's anyway. I don't know. I don't know what it is Arsenal are doing so terribly that others haven't done before. Nor do I see anything from Arsenal that is, you know, Man City were being praised for the dark arts in previous seasons. Tactical fouling, remember that? Tactical fouling. Or rotational fouling. Let's all leave one on Saka. 4 different players, so he's been fouled 3-4 times, but no one's been booked because it's all their first foul. And I've spoken about this. I've spoken about this on this channel, and I've asked for, you know, and illustrating the rules to fix some of that, but no one's wanted to entertain the conversation, and now they suddenly do. You know, why is it when teams are counter-attacking, you can deliberately grab the shirt, no intention to play the ball, and all you get is a yellow card? I called for sin bins. I said, take 10 minutes off the pitch because you've denied a potentially really good goal scoring opportunity. And all you get is a yellow card. It doesn't really affect you that much. But no one wanted to entertain, you know, looking at the game more differently, and looking at how we can actually apply common sense to the rules a bit more and make sure that there is a more justifiable punishment for every, you know, different thing that can happen in a game that can lead to a yellow or red card. You know, people didn't really want to change the game, did they? But now we've got to talk about Arsenal's dark arts. I don't know. I think Arsenal have got wiser. I think Arsenal have got smarter. And I think Arsenal have got more physical. And I think Arsenal are showing, different sides to them. And people don't like it because it used to be a stick you could beat Arsenal with, and now you can't. That's my opinion of it. Let's see what comes of it. I don't think much will, because I think Arsenal have proven that they're quite clever. At the start of the season, they said they're going to be careful of obstructing goalkeepers because Ben White did a brilliant job of it. So what have Arsenal been doing? Well, we've just been lumping it over the goalkeeper and into an area where Gabriel can just charge in and smash it into the back of the net. Like, Arsenal will find solutions, but ultimately I want us to be judged like we are, like every other Premier League club is judged. And I think with this kind of inquest into Arsenal's dark arts, I don't really see what we're doing differently to others. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, everyone. That is the news that apparently Premier League clubs have complained to the... let me get the exact wording of it. Wait with me 1 second. Is it? According to reports, some Premier League clubs, we should say some, have written to the PGMOL concerned about Arsenal's gamesmanship and use of the dark arts throughout last season's campaign. So it's worth saying that this might be to do, it's to do with last season, not necessarily this campaign. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this quick update. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I really want to know what you all think. And yeah, Arsenal, as Turkish has said before, the most hated club in the country. And I'm starting to agree with them.